Into the Final Four with the Spartans in against Florida. I have Duke and Houston.
Hello, everybody.
Alabama. Houston beating Tennessee.
Ready for March Madness. The women. The men have been revealed. Wasn't excited about that, except like Duke, but we'll see what happens. Let me get a sip of my tea here.
SEC tournament MVP Todd Golden, remarkable job as coach. All I can say.
How's everybody doing? Let me know who's out there. I didn't announce I was going to do this, but I put it up the list. So who's out there? Gonna do the women's selection committee. Gonna start right now. I'm interested to see who they make the number one. I think it should be UCLA. ESPN thinks it should be South Carolina, but they're biased towards South Carolina and Connecticut, so I don't trust them.
With tonight, 37 others await their fate. In Indianapolis,
So we'll
the committee's been in the war room, crunching numbers, weighing resumes, deciding the path to the ultimate end goal. That being Tampa, Florida, host city.
All right, we'll see what happens. Who's here? Let me know who's here. Make some comments.
With one mission.
Who do you think is going to be the number one pick, number one overall?
And call themselves.
I think it should be UCLA. I found out today from ESPN that Caitlin Clark is not in the top 5 of greatest players of all time. That was funny. 2 of the people were from Connecticut, and so 3 of the top 5 were from Connecticut. Let's see who's out there. All right. So we'll see how Notre Dame gets. They're down to 8th in the country. All right. I'm interested to see what matchups we got. I like guard matchups. What about you guys? We'll see. So I'm looking forward to any matchups with good guards. They're more exciting, at least in the women's game. What do you guys think? You're not going to make comments today? All right.
Well, you are looking
It's a non-comment group of 6 people.
Various teams across the country are waiting to hear their paths. For some, their fate's still uncertain. Others are just sitting
Find
back.
out.
They know their name will be called. It's just a matter of where and who stands in their way.
Nobody knows where.
Is built.
So did you guys see the ESPN list of top 5 greatest women players of all time by 3 people? 2 of them were from Connecticut. Caitlin Clark didn't win a championship. Can't put her in the top 5.
Absolutely real on the set. Hello and welcome to our selection show. I'm so excited to have my fantastic friends alongside me. I am Elle Duncan. We've got the Swiss Army knife and former Lady Vol in Andrea Carter. We've got a pair of Hall of Famers because that's how big the night is. Carolyn Peck, Rebecca Lobo. If there was a Hall of Fame for bracketology, Charlie Cream, no doubt you would be in it. And because 2 isn't enough, we have another Hall of Famer in Holly Rowe who's standing by. She's way too humble to look down on anybody, but she's literally doing that tonight as she stands.
All right.
She's going to be bringing us exclusive interviews all night long.
I'm glad they have Rebecca Lobo in there. They have some common sense.
Over 5,800 games were played in D1 this season, and it all comes down to tonight. Give me a storyline that you're watching for tonight.
Well, as we start to figure out the bracket, I want to see where rematches happen. The rematches from last season's tournament, rematches from incredibly exciting games that we had this season. Think about USC, UConn. Think about Notre Dame, Texas.
Yeah, I'll make the tournament.
This tournament. Well,
They're ranked like in the top 30. They have votes in the AP poll.
Look at how tough the SEC was this year. Charlie, you said that possibly 6 would host. What will the committee do?
Let me see.
Those 6 teams, will all 6 be able to host these first rounds?
Yeah, they took away the rankings on ESPN. What is
2 seed?
it's so stupid.
1 seed. You do not want UConn as a 2 seed. Last year they made it to the Final Four as a 3 seed. In 2022 they made it to the Final Four as a 2 seed. Who is the 1 seed if they end up being that 2 seed?
And that goes to the order of the 1 seeds. That's my big curiosity here. I think I've been pretty firm on who the 1 seeds are going to be, but in what order are they going to be? Because that's going to dictate the matchups that we see down the road in the tournament.
I gotta say, after last year, one storyline I'm excited not to have to watch is me messing up Albany. Remind me about that but I do know how to pronounce both of these regionals. And we are ready to reveal the field again. Let's take a look at that bracket and the road to Tampa Bay.
So Notre Dame's only 8th in the country right now, so but they'll get a 2 seed.
Washington and Birmingham, Alabama, before of course heading to Tampa for the national semis on April 4th, and then we will crown a champ on April 6th. Everyone at home, all the watch parties are like, enough, lay out, let's start revealing the field. And here we go. Your number 1 overall seed as we take a look at Regional 1 in Spokane. It's the UCLA Bruins. They are 1 seed in this tournament. You see that reaction?
I told you they should be. ESPN saying it was going to be South Carolina.
In the Big Ten tournament, in the championship game, they overcame a 13-point deficit in the third quarter, of course, led by Lauren Betts and her near 20 per game. But also in that game, they made the first 5 threes that they took, had the inside-out balance.
They're taking selfies. They're looking at each other. They are hype, and they will play the winner of UC San Diego Tritons or the Southern Jaguars in our first 4 games. So again, your number 1 overall seed is UCLA. They're those Jags. We see you in Baton Rouge. That's you. She's pointing at the camera like, that's us. That's you. Can you hear us? Maybe not, but we know that you're excited on the inside. Keep it on. You're in. Yes. Okay. As for our 8-9 matchup, we've got the 8-seeded Richmond Spiders, 27 wins, that's second most in program history, and they'll be facing a team that's close to home for you, Andrea. Your 9-seed, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, I have to give some credit to Georgia Tech.
22 wins, that's the most under head coach Nell Porter. They're excited. Led by Kara Dunn, but my eyes are on the freshman, Danny Carnegie, ACC 6th Woman of the Year in her first NCAA tournament. Congrats to the Yellow Jackets. Congrats. They'll be playing on Friday in that 8-9 matchup. That's for our 4-13 matchup. Number 4, Baylor Bears, the only Big 12 team with 5 players that average in double figures. We see the reaction a little bit muted for a Baylor team that certainly made a run last year. And in that matchup, they'll be facing the 13-seed Grand Canyon Antelope.
Grand Canyon.
First 31 season in program history, and they are dancing. Congratulations to those Lakes. We move on to our 5-12 matchup. And at the 5 position, we've got the Ole Miss Rebels. CP.
Ole Miss, they finished the regular season, they knocked off LSU, and then in the SEC tournament, only lost by 7 to Texas. This is a team that defends and disrupts. Coach Joe is going to have the Rebels in the dance. They're going to be highly motivated.
Yeah, Coach Yo looks like she's motivated. That thing she's getting her back on. She's like, okay, bet. We see you. Ole Miss will be facing in that 12-seeded matchup Ball State. Their second NCAA tournament appearance, first since 2009. They are dancing after their third straight 20-win season. Congratulations to those Cardinals. They'll be facing Ole Miss in the first round. A game that we'll see on Friday. We move down to the bottom of the bracket. Sitting in that 3 spot for our 3-14 matchup, it's the LSU Tigers. The only team to have 3 players with 500 points in the
I think it's 1 hour.
Williams and Flajay Johnson, they've got a big 3 and they find themselves in that 3 spot.
Yeah, I wonder if the big 3
LSU 3.
Well, the health of them is what
Now LSU's ranked 10th, so that's not a surprise. That's where they should be.
The SEC tournament, and tomorrow got banged up in the SEC tournament, and they're 100%. They're wearing 2 boots.
They're wearing 2 boots, but for now, there are a few days until they face the 14th seed, which is the San Diego State Aztecs. 25 wins, which is the most in over. We love the reaction. They jumped up. They love it. Ticket punched. Congratulations to the Aztecs. 3rd conference tournament title, also winning in 2010 and 2012. We'll face LSU in that first round. Game we'll see on Saturday. As we move down to the rest of the bracket for Spokane 1. In your 6-11 matchup, it's Florida State. Florida State, a dangerous team in terms of offense. Tied for 2nd in D1 in scoring, and they're led by the nation's leading scorer, Tanaya Latson. If Florida State's going to make a run, it will be on the shoulders of Tanaya Latson. She's an absolute bucket. And a fantastic feel-good story for you. Florida State going to be facing the 11th seed George Mason Patriots, who are dancing.
So Florida State is only a 6th seed.
History. George Mason is coached by Vanessa Blair Lewis. She dedicated the championship in the 80-10 to her dad. He's going through hospice. So I this is a woman that has got her focus on.
27 wins, most of dancing for the first time. As we move on, we've got our 2-15 matchup. Number 2 seeded NC State under Westmore, making their 30th tournament appearance. Okay, and you know NC State, they don't dance. This is probably practiced on TikTok. We love it, ladies.
This is an NC State team that plays a 4-guard lineup. Those starting 4 guards average 71.
Here's my top 10 women basketball players of all time. That's the real list.
Why aren't you dancing?
Right, yep. I see you, Sanaya. I see you, girl. The knees, okay. And NC State will be facing the 15-seeded Vermont Catamounts. 1-7 all time in the NCAA tournament games. They last won in 2010, but they have only allowed 52 points per game this season. That's the 4th fewest in D1. They are leaning on that defense, and they'll need to when they face a very good NC State team in the first round of game we'll see on Saturday. As far as our 7-10 matchup, how about the 7-seeded Michigan State Spartans? They lead the Big Ten in points per game off turnovers, business trip. They're like, all right, we'll do a little golf clap here for you. Congratulations. They'll be facing 10-seeded Harvard, which is a fantastic story, CP. 24 wins, most in program history.
They won the Ivy League on the back of Harmony Turner. She had a good bounce back game against Princeton where she had 15 points in the earlier game of the season. She had 44 in that semifinal game.
How many? 44. Say it again.
44.
44 people in the back. So there it is. We just revealed Spokane won. You take a full look at this field, and again, your number 1 overall seed, UCLA, sitting there at the top. They'll kick off their tournament action on Friday, facing the winner of UC San Diego and Southern. So when we take a look,
So Florida State, LSU, North Carolina State, those are good matchups if they start meeting.
And what their path looks like now that you see it in front of you.
I think it's a good path. There's not a lot of size, at least in the upper half of that bracket, for anybody that would have to contend with Lauren Betts in the post. Maybe Aaronette Bonaway of Baylor could give her a little bit of trouble. She's physical and playing very good basketball right now, but I do like UCLA's path.
That's one of the things I'm going to focus on. If seeds hold and UCLA ended up playing NC State, as good as NC State's backcourt is, where they can be thin at times, is in their front court. When they had that big win against Notre Dame at home, Tilda Trieger scored in double digits. She was massive for them. Again, if seeds hold, Trieger will be very, very key for them if they want to upset UCLA.
I think another team, you talk about the bigs, you've got Timpson at Florida State. She is a shot blocking machine. If there's anybody that can defend the paint and cause a problem, it could be her.
I think another thing when we talk about teams and rematches, right? LSU is not necessarily a team that has a lot of size, but where LSU could have an edge is confidence. We see UCLA last season, Rajay Johnson absolutely shine. Now, 2 completely different teams, 2 entirely new seasons. But when I talk about potential for rematches, that's a big one that if things go according to seeding, we could see that one, and that one could be fun.
I do want to mention as well.
You're here for the moment?
Winning the Big Ten championship was for UCLA, right? A team that had lost to USC twice.
Al Duncan's wearing a nice outfit. I have to give her credit.
In large part because they were able to take care
I don't
of
like her,
in that conference.
but it's a nice outfit.
Are we ready to move on to our next region and reveal the rest of the field? It's Regional 2 in Birmingham. I'm from the South. I know you can call it Birmingham. Who is the number 1 seed in the Regional 2 Birmingham region? And it is South Carolina.
But South Carolina is a team that
They're not excited.
learn how to play without a Camilla Cardoso.
They're just realizing that they're
They have a 3-headed monster in the post with Chloe Kitt, Sanaya Fagan, and Joyce Edwards. So you have that to go with the stellar guards and the defense Don Steckley brings. South Carolina could look to repeat.
Certainly, and we will see.
So it's interesting to see who they gave them the 2 and the 3 seed in that bracket.
Business trip always for South Carolina. They've been here before. They will face in that 116 matchup Tennessee Tech. 4 NCAA tournament wins, most recently in 2023 in the first 4. Congratulations to those Golden Eagles. 26 wins this season. That was the most since 1989, 1990. See, you weren't even born yet.
Trader Jack's here for the moment. What moment is that? Yeah, I was gonna make it. Just a question of where they're gonna be. They're like, they have votes in in the last AP poll. So that means they're like almost around 30th.
From Salt Lake City,
Since there's
congratulations to those Utes. They will be facing 9-seeded Indiana, who's making their 6th straight tournament appearance. They're 1 win shy of their 10th straight 20-win season. And this team, all about yard and their zone, second team All Big Ten, and leads the team in scoring with over 14.5 points per game. That's a game you'll see.
I don't know anything about those. I don't know anything about much about Indiana.
Matchup. Sitting at that 4 position, it's the Maryland Terrapins.
Maryland getting to host in College Park. That's good news. Put the Freeze put together a team.
Maryland, they were.
But they suffered a lot of injuries, and they overcame it all. And the reward is first and second round games in College Park.
And listen, bring the freezes as good as they come in NCAA tournament openers. Sorry, Norfolk State, who is number 13 and will face Maryland. And what a season for those Spartans.
I'm not sure I'd give many awards for dancing on that one, but all right.
D1 in 1997-98, and an amazing year for Diamond Johnson, who gets MEAC Player of the Year and leads the conference in scoring. That's a matchup that we will see on Saturday. In our 5-12 matchup in Birmingham, too, your 5-seed Alabama Crimson Tide.
North Forest
making
State.
their 14th tournament appearance, 4th in the last 5 years. One of 4 teams with 3 players that are averaging 15 points per game. The
That's a
others
mellow
are
group
Florida
compared to
State
the other
and Florida
ones.
State. They can score, and they'll face in the 12-seed.
South Carolina versus Tennessee Tech will blow the roof off the place for sure.
29 wins, which was the most in the season since 2017.
It's going to beat them by like 50 points.
5-12 matchup. And we'll see that one on Saturday coming to us from College Park.
Cowboys 22-game win streak.
Is that it? Just
The Cowboys 22-game win streak.
in our 3-14 matchup, we start with 3-seeded North Carolina making their 32nd NCAA tournament appearance.
Yeah, North Carolina, a team I'm looking at, Alyssa Husby and Renaya Kelly. They missed some games late in the season, then they came back. Those two huge for this North Carolina Tar Heels team. Charlie, you mentioned transfers, you mentioned young players. That's also what North Carolina is made of.
And they will face, in that 14th seed, the West Coast Conference champion, Oregon State Beavers AC, who I know you're really high on.
Very high on this Oregon State team in particular because of the coaching job Scott Rulick has done. This is a team that lost 82% of their scoring from last season. There are multiple starters from Oregon State that are playing on other teams in this exact same field. So great job by Oregon State, rallying from a beginning of the season that was rough, and they figured it out along the way.
Congratulations, North Carolina, Oregon State. We'll see you on Saturday in that first round opener as we move on down the bracket here in Birmingham, too. Your 6-11 matchup sitting in that 6th position is the West Virginia Mountaineers, and man, will they rely on defense. They lead the Big 12 in points per game allowed and turnovers forced per game. And of course, it goes through J.J. Quinterly, first team All Big 12, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. We see the reaction there. Congratulations to the Mountaineers. Your matchup in the first round will be the winner of the Columbia Lions and Washington Huskies. For Columbia, their 2nd tournament appearance. They also made it last year for Washington. 1 win shy of their first 20-win season since 2016-17. That was Kelsey Plum's senior season. So we will get that matchup on Saturday. As you take a look at your 6-11 matchup, we move right along to our 2-15 matchup. Sitting in that 2 position, man, your winners of the ACC, it's Duke.
And Duke had some stingy defense. When you look at what they did in the ACC tournament, only allowed Louisville 48
Duke is a
points,
2 seed.
only 56 and
What were they ranked?
62. The offense is working as well, and I think the addition of the freshman.
They were ranked 7th. Okay.
She has been huge for them to be a presence inside.
So that makes sense.
11 matchup. We move. Congratulations to the Mountaineers. Your matchup in the first round will be the winner of the Columbia Lions and Washington Huskies. For Columbia, their 2nd tournament appearance. They also made it last year for Washington. 1 win shy of their first 20-win season since 2016-17. That was Kelsey Plum's senior season. So we will get that matchup on Saturday as you take a look at your 6th. Here for Washington, 1 win shy of their first 20 Mountaineers. Your matchup in the first round will be the winner of the Columbia Lions and Washington Huskies. Huskies. For Columbia, their second tournament appearance. They also made it last year for Washington.
Allowed Louisville 48 points. Notre Dame only 56, and NC State 62. Their offense is working as well, and I think the addition of the freshman Toby Fournier, she has been huge for them to be a presence inside.
It's going to be a good strength. The Patriot League in points per game, paint points per game.
Aaron Moore, who is the key to this team's success as the third musketeer in the tournament.
Anchor down.
Anchor down, baby.
You know, see people gonna jump.
You know she was going to. In terms of who they'll face in that first round, sitting at the 10th seed, it is the Oregon Ducks.
Oregon Ducks.
Leads the team
Oh.
in scoring. And
They're no more for
Washington honorable
football.
mention. So you see the reaction there from Eugene. That will be your 7-10 matchup, Vanderbilt and Oregon. So you take a look again at the full reveal of your Birmingham Regional 2 bracket. Again, your one seed in that bracket being South Carolina. I have to note that when we saw South Carolina's watch party, again, this is a team that has been the number one overall seed every year since 2021. Should South Carolina feel some type of way about not getting that number one overall seed, Charlie?
I do. I thought they should have been the number one overall seed. More quad one wins than any team in the country. The toughest schedule that anybody played in the country. When you win more big games against all the other best teams, I think that warrants getting the number one overall seed. But now you've given Dawn Staley and her crew just a little bit.
I've never seen her play, Trader Jack.
I don't know if
I've never seen Kentucky
people
played. I want to
Dawn
watch her
Staley
play.
and the Gamecocks having more motivation.
But if you look at the bracket as a whole and you're South Carolina or South Carolina fan, there's not necessarily a team here whose style or makeup makes you feel any kind of trepidation. You feel pretty good matchup-wise.
And they're playing their best basketball right now. The way they looked in the SEC tournament, you didn't want to be in South Carolina's bracket.
That's the point that I was going to make.
I don't know if they're playing their best basketball right now.
Is the way that they look and
They had 2 late season losses.
Okay, we will break this down as after we do our reveal show. We've got another full hour for you on E2, so we're really going to get into the machinations and really go after it. But we have yet to reveal half of the field, and we'll do exactly that when we come back. Look at all these teams waiting to hear if their name will be called and where they will slot in.
I will be a 6 seed. They should be. I would say no. Well, 6 times 4 is 24. So that would make them a 7th seed or an 8th seed. Well, I don't know where you're getting 6th seed from. They were ranked around 28th or 29th at the end of the country. So 6 times 4 is 24. That means the top 6 seeds should be in the top 24. And then 25 through 28 would be 7 seeds. And 29 through 32 would be 8 seeds. So I got them a 7th or 8th seed. I'm not sure how you're getting a 6th seed out of that.
Uh-oh, Chuck,
We'll
someone's
see.
falling up in our airspace.
But they'll be in the tournament. So I don't know if somebody has to do the tournament.
Double miles with the Capital One Venture card.
Bling, bling. Oh, Magic Championship rings are blinding.
Well, to play our rings.
We don't have rings. Okay, I get it.
Don't get shocked.
That was a clean block. Next time I'm standing on the bus.
Today is the beginning of something big. A change in how you manage your weight, thicker, fuller hair, and control over your anxiety and depression. It starts with small steps. A tap at forhers.com. A new part of your routine. A little moment for you. Coming together to make big changes. Through Hers, you can get access to personalized treatment plans for weight loss, hair loss, anxiety, and more. Connect with a licensed medical provider today. Get started at forhers.com.
$56,500.
Gentlemen.
Today. TJ Maxx, you can go to in the closet into a place of endless expression. You deserve styles you crave and prices you love.
I'm gonna do what I do.
Max what makes you you.
Do what I do.
More for all of our back to the have to feel this team so find out when they will yet to reveal all of the field, and we will do that now. Regional.
All right, let's see.
Birmingham.
I want to know where Notre Dame's going to be.
Number one seed in that
Scuttlebutt, I
region,
heard.
the Texas Longhorns.
Texas, one of the toughest defensive teams in the country.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Young talents in the country.
I'm thinking there should be a 7th seed, but they can be as low as an 8th seed. I don't see them being a 6th seed unless they're ranked in the top 25.
She certainly can. Be on alert then, the 16 seed. They'll face the winner of either High Point Panthers or William and Mary Tribe. For High Point, it's their second tournament appearance, first since 2021. We see the celebrations. Hey, we bouncing. We bouncing.
You definitely would rather be a 7th seed because if you're an 8th seed, you got to play the number 1 seed at some point.
Congratulations to Coach Erin Dickerson Davis in her third season leading her team for the first time to the tournament. Next up, our 8-9 matchup, your 8th seed in Birmingham 3, Illinois Fighting Illini. 10th NCAA tournament appearance, their second in the last 3 years, and their second 20-win season in the last 3 seasons. Prior to that, their last one was in 07-08. We like that consistency. As for who they'll face in the first round, your 9 seed, the Creighton Blue Jays, led by head coach Jim Flannery in his 23rd season, back-to-back 25-win seasons for the first time in program history. They got the lights going in their reveal as well. They got a lighting team and everything. We see you, Blue Jays.
Fireworks in there.
Honestly, I lighted up from 3, so it's fair. It's very on the nose. Well done, Dre. As for your 4-13 matchup, 4 seed in Birmingham 3, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Ohio State.
Again, a 25-win season, 4 straight now for the first time in program.
They don't look too happy.
And you see Cody McMahon, first team All Big Ten, leads the team 8 points per game. That's for their matchup.
Ohio State was ranked 15th. Well, what were they expecting? That's what a 4th seed gets.
Montana State Bobcats. First 30-win season in program history. They have to, I think, take the cake for biggest crowd at the Look at the watch party. So much support.
They all don't even fit in the screen.
They really don't. Well done.
I guess they got nothing to do in that town.
They got it all. There it is. That is your 4-13 matchup. That's for your.
Yeah, they're not going to be higher than a 7th seed.
In Birmingham 3. Dre, it's the Lady Balls.
Yeah, this is a Tennessee team that leads the country.
Because when I saw the voting, they were around 29th. That's going to give them around an 8th seed. It could give them a 7th seed if they're real lucky.
Last 4 games, so Tennessee looking to rally. They were in the conversation to host. They're going to have to go on the road for the tournament.
If you've never seen Tennessee play, it's such an interesting style of play.
That's where my brother lives, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Matchup, 12 seed in Birmingham 3. It's the South Florida Bulls. Their second conference tournament title as the American champion.
Well, Jose Fernandez said, look, we are not, 11 seed?
Mhm.
Said they're going to be the toughest 11 seed anybody has, 12 seed anybody is going to face.
We love that. We love that. As we move
That
on, that's you're into it. Oscar.
So we still don't know where Notre Dame is going to be. I'm curious about them. And USC, they haven't exposed USC yet. They're probably going to be the last number 1 seed. But a 3 seed.
Yes, I thought they would be a 2. They were number 1 in the country, as you mentioned just a few weeks ago.
A 3 seed?
To a 3. I think the time off is really going to help them to get them to regroup after that tough finish to the season.
A 3 seed? They're ranked 8th in the country.
Player of the Year D1 in scoring. In terms of who they'll face, at the 14th seed is the Southern Conference champions. It's Steve Boston. We see ya, the Lady Jacks. How y'all doing? You hear us?
Notre Dame, a 3 seed.
Just a little bit of a delay.
I don't know about that.
Congratulations, that 3-14 matchup, a game that we'll see on Friday. In terms of our 6-11 matchup, 6 seed in Birmingham.
I don't know about that.
It's the Michigan Wolverines.
Who do they put ahead of them?
57% of their
Since they were ranked 8th in the country.
D1. They have 20 wins and 13 of their last 14 seasons.
What was North Carolina State? Were they a 2 seed?
You see the celebration there from Ann Arbor as they get that 6 seed, and they'll face in their matchup 11-seeded Iowa State Cyclones or the Princeton Tigers. Iowa State 23rd tournament appearance. They of course have Audie Crooks, who captured the nation last year, all Big 12 first team, facing
Audie Crooks, Rob's girl.
NCAA tournament appearance, representing for the Ivy League. That game we'll see on Friday. Your 2-15 matchup in Birmingham 3 in that 2 seed, it's TCU. 31 wins, first 31 season of program history, CP.
Congratulations to Mark Hamill, Big 12 Coach of the Year. Look, he had 10 players on his team that were transfers out of the 14, and he was able to go on.
Alabama, I mean, Notre Dame got screwed over.
Just so much support. That is a crowd right there. They'll face in the 15 seed Fairleigh Dickinson, making their first NCAA tournament appearance. Congratulations. Ladies, you are dancing quite literally and figuratively. That's your 2-15 matchup in Birmingham. And we close it out here in Birmingham 3 with our 7-10 matchup. Sitting in that 7 seed, it's the Louisville Cardinals with head coach Jeff Walton's 18th season, making their 14th straight tournament appearance. They will face at the 10th position, Nebraska Cornhuskers, leading the big team in threes made per game. 17th straight tournament appearance.
So it looks like Texas and USC are in the last bracket as the number 1 and number 2 seeds.
Let's take a full look at that bracket. Your 1 seed on that side is Texas. But I think when you look at this
number 1
bracket,
Texas wasn't this one. Okay, I'm sorry.
Has been Notre Dame, a team who 21 days ago were number 1 in AP and now fall to the 3 line. Just your reaction at their path.
I think it's going to be, for Notre Dame, it's going to be tough, but I think this time off will be good for Neil Ivy and her team to get back on track. I think the key to Notre Dame and them advancing has to be their defense. They got to lock in and make that a priority. If they do and get back to playing the defense they were playing earlier in the season, Notre Dame could cause some problems.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when I watch Notre Dame defensively, absolutely. Behind Hannah Hidalgo, they have to have things under control. And as far as their defensive chemistry goes, they've got to get on the same page. But then they faced Duke in the ACC tournament and their offense. They couldn't buy a bucket in that game. So I can imagine the committee being having some struggles when they look at this Notre Dame team.
Notre Dame in December and January was playing like the best basketball team in the country, and Hannah Hidalgo was the leader for National Player of the Year in that time frame. Watch out if they can recapture what they had going in December and January.
They will certainly be a team that can make some noise. As for us, we've got one more Region 2 reveal, and we will get to that on the other side. But so far, what's our best reaction? Who's calling the? Okay, I see you. Princeton was excited. Vandy's in
TCU has the crowd.
TCU has the best crowd, I think, for sure. As our selection show continues, we'll reveal the final field.
I don't understand how you got a 3 seed. They're ranked 8th in the country, and that was, just because they start end of the season week. But for the whole season, I don't know who they put ahead of them. They put North Carolina. Was North Carolina State a 2 seed?
Not yet.
Is that what the team that got the? Because someone had to slide in. That was someone in the 9th through 12th position had to slide in. So.
Innovation changes everything.
Hold it.
With one investment, you can access the NASDAQ 100 innovators who are rethinking the world. Before investing carefully, read and consider fund
We'll see what happens. They did,
investments,
they were cold at the end of the year. I don't know why they cooled off, but. Excuse me. Oh.
The NCAA
So, it looks like USC got a number 1 seed. So,
the NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in
yeah, because they're ranked
scholarships
4th.
every year.
Oh, wait a minute.
D1 scholarships are not
Either
only
USC or
free,
UConn did not get a number 1
are
seed
mandatory.
because Texas got one.
Tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching, because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's.
Oh, that will be interesting. One of those got a 2
My
seed.
missing teeth isolated me from the world. I trusted Clear Choice, and you gave me back my smile in one day.
Wow. So UConn's probably going to be playing USC. Whoa. Whoa. That eliminates one of the anybody but Caitlin's players. They're going to play at the Elite 8 tournament.
Just you wait till next time.
Rematch next week?
Let's play it by ear. Keep on scratching.
Great skin starts here. From clearing to brightening, Hand & Stone delivers real results you can see and feel. Your skin
So we'll see what
transformation
happens.
starts now.
It looks like UConn has to play USC in the Elite 8 tournament. Elite 8 match.
Only better.
Because it looks like I didn't hear either of their teams. Did I miss them?
Coming up next on ESPN, a star-studded NBA Sunday night matchup for you. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of the Western Conference Leading Thunder finishing up their 3-game road trip in Milwaukee. They'll take on Giannis, Dame, and those Bucks again after we reveal the field. You'll see that right here at the top of the hour on ESPN.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, will he win the MVP? Or will it be Jokic?
Who's going to be the final 1 seed? You may be asking at home. You take a look at these comparisons of resume with UConn and SC. UConn holds the number 1 spot in the net rank, but played the 48th toughest schedule. SC 6th in net, but played the 4th toughest schedule with 13 quad 1 wins. You don't have to wait long. Your final number 1
USC
seed
will-
is those
yeah.
USC Trojans.
I didn't think
No,
UConn
I think they
deserved a number
you
1.
saw the quality wins on that resume, and we all talk about, and we should, Juju Watkins play, and she is the best player in the country. But it's their defense. Number 1 in the Big Ten in defensive efficiency. I think that, if they're going to get to Tampa, is what will ultimately get them there, in addition to Juju.
In their first round matchup, they'll
Oh, yeah,
face
Juju's a perfect player. She's flawless.
UNC Greensboro Spartans.
Don't forget about
They're
that
in
part.
their second NCAA tournament appearance. Their first since 1998, and I think you can tell that they're feeling it.
I can do some of those dances.
Can you? You still got them knees?
Zach,
I think I'm pretty much back for me. I know. You're gonna do that over on E2 on the Bracketology show. That's a tease for you. So that you're 116.
I'm not sure I'm giving these women high grades for dancing.
In Regional 4 Spokane, number 8 is the Cal Golden Bears, CP.
I think the Golden Bears could be extremely dangerous in the tournament. They got 2 players in Crimley and Twydale who have made over 90 threes apiece. They can light it up. The key for the Golden Bears is they have to take care of the basketball.
That is the reaction.
That's the reaction.
There it is.
And in their first round matchup, they'll face someone who's going to tell you to talk mass to them. Number 9, Mississippi State. Sam Purcell in his 3rd season there. 13th NCAA tournament.
So let's see
Allowed the fewest paint points
who
allowed in the SEC this season. We move on to your 4-13 matchup. At that 4 position, Dre is the Kentucky Wildcats and Kenny Brooks' first season there.
Well, you have to give Kenny Brooks so much credit for what he has been able to do at Kentucky. They are led by their point guard.
Okay, we get a little dance performance
There we
we go. They were ready. WNBA scouts, front office members, very high on Aidmore. This is a team that can knock down threes, and they have a lot of length on the defensive end. Watch out for the Wildcats. Their first round matchup will be against 13 seeded and the Conference USA champion Liberty Lady Flames, who are back in the tournament for the first time since 2018 after winning Conference USA. They got a nice watch party too. Congratulations. Ticket punched officially. Your first round matchup is set. In that 5-12 matchup, sitting at the 5 position, it's the Kansas State Wildcats. 18-1 when Aoka Lee plays 8-6 when she did not. Certainly we'll keep an eye on that as they will face
18-1.
the MAC champion, number 12 Fairfield Stags, making their tournament appearance back-to-back for the first time in school history. We see the dates. Okay.
We'll
I don't know what
see.
any of these dances are called. I do think they're just like challenges based on TikTok, but that's fine.
Kansas
There
State.
is your 5-12 matchup.
It's 5. Kentucky's
Moving
4.
on with a bracket here in Spokane. Your 3-14 matchup sitting in that 3 position. It's the Oklahoma Sooners are out.
Really enjoy
So
watching
that's-
and calling Oklahoma games this year. They are anchored inside.
Yeah, it's going to come down to
Oregon State transfer.
none of those teams. I think are going to be UConn or USC. They're USC and UConn are going to play in the Elite 8.
I really like watching Peyton Verhulst. She is a tough guard who does not capitulate to any defender.
Capitulate. Nice use. She's smiling too, by the way. She knew she dropped that. Right, capitulate. Very proud. Facing in the first round, sitting in that 14th spot, Florida Gulf Coast, who is making it for the first time.
What do you guys think?
Chelsea Lyles in the program.
USC,
They got the first
UConn.
round, and they are ready. Congratulations. That's your 3-14 matchup in Spokane Regional 4. As for your 6
One of them's getting knocked out in the Elite 8.
at that 6th spot, it's the Iowa Hawkeyes. Of course, they made the national championship game each of the last 2 years. We lose Caitlin Clark, but then Lucy Olsen transfers over from Villanova, leads the team with 18 points per game, and his first team All Big Ten. Congratulations.
They gave him a 6 seed.
They face the Missouri Valley champion,
Wow.
number 11 seed Murray State Racers. 25 wins.
They gave Iowa a 6 seed. They weren't even ranked in the top 24.
Tournament appearance ever. Also 2008. That was the last time. Congratulations to those Racers. We will see you on Saturday.
Wow.
In Norman.
Okay, I was wrong.
As for our 2-15 matchup, sitting at that 2 spot, it's the UConn Huskies, CP.
UConn is coming into this tournament this year because they haven't won a championship since 2016. They are on a mission. Paige Beckers is starving to be cutting down the nets at the end of this tournament. So I think the Huskies are going to be motivated as they start their march in March Madness.
And they will be facing a tournament first-timer and the Sun Belt champion Arkansas State Red Wolves. Congratulations.
So,
Reaction there from
when is that
Okay.
matchup? Because that's going to be USC. They played last year and Connecticut won.
He's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm hype about it. That is your 2-15 matchup in Spokane 4. And finally, the last 2 teams to be revealed, your 7-10 matchup. Sitting at number 7 is the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. First 25-win season since 2013-14. Congratulations. They've got 3 wins versus AP-ranked opponents, which is their most of the season in over 8 years. They could be dangerous. They'll be facing in the first round, sitting at that 10 spot, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. 13th tournament appearance, 1 shy of their second 30-win season since moving to D1. And they're led by
All right.
Meyer, Old Summit League first team.
I don't know how they got a 6 seed when they're ranked around 28th in the country or so. That should be a 7 seed. I know they had votes in the top 20, not in the, like after they list like 5 teams after the voting. And I forgot they were around 28th or so, 29th.
Because, you know, we were doing some
Wow.
like Doctor Stranging and looking at all possible scenarios. How do you feel if you're USC getting this bracket with UConn?
Not so good. Because you have to go through the Huskies again to get to the Final Four, just like you did last year, if the seeds play out.
Sure.
And I think that's probably a little frustrating because UConn and South Carolina are the 2 teams in this tournament with the most March experience. They've done the most March winning. And if you're USC, you're still a little bit new to this game, relatively speaking. And now you've got to go through that team again in order to get to that elusive Final Four.
Not only if seats hold and you meet them in the regional final, but you already played them this year in December, the highest rated game of the season, by the way. We would prefer this matchup to happen in the Final Four as TV people. But for USC, yes, it was somebody you had to play last year and somebody you've already played this year.
Maybe you're at home, maybe you're like us, and you have all kinds of questions for the selection committee. And the good news is Holly Rowe is going to step up and help us out. Holly, what you got coming up?
Well, the committee has been sequestered in Indianapolis for 5 days, so they've got a lot to tell us about how this bracket came together. How about this? There were 13 regular season champions. 12 of them lost in their tournament, so the bracket got mixed up. We'll talk with committee chair Dorita Dawkins coming up next. Trust me, we've got all the questions, and she'll have the answers.
We'll see. Let me see what the bracket is, because who took Notre Dame's spot as the other 2 seed? Was it North Carolina State or North Carolina State?
What's retirement look like for Sue Bird?
Was
Relaxing hobbies,
ranked 9th.
staying active. It's a lot, so I need my savings to last. Okay.
So for some reason they bumped North Carolina State over Notre Dame despite having one more loss. I guess they went by strength of schedule or whatever, but North Carolina State got the 2 seed over Notre Dame. I don't know if that's fair. Iowa got a 6 seed. I don't know how that worked out. It's a Caitlin Clark effect. That's what it is. Caitlin Clark effect. So we'll find out what happens. TCU? Yeah, but TCU is ranked 6th in the nation. They're expected to get a 2 seed. So was Duke. Notre Dame was 8th. So they just switched the 8th and the 9th spot around for the 2 and the 3 seed. And they also bumped UConn, who's 3rd in the nation, down to 5th, essentially. So, because I gave him a 2 seed. I didn't think UConn should have been 3rd in the country anyways, but there's just that UConn biased. The committee's more neutral. But I thought it was a toss-up between South Carolina and UCLA, but I liked UCLA's. They only had 2 losses, and they were against a number 1 seed, USC. But South Carolina had like 6 big wins, so. But they had one more loss. And they had a bad loss too, right? So, hey, you gotta.
Not how you would have done it. You bundle things right. That's it.
You pulled Mary straight. You pulled, yeah. Iowa got a 6 seed. I don't know how they got it. Maybe they think Caitlin Clark's going to play for them. Would that be cool? She come out of retirement and play for them? College retirement. Her and Lucy Olson would be a good pair. Could they win it with that team, Caitlin Clark? I'm disappointed in the dancing. I didn't think it was very good.
Well, Dorita, thanks for joining us. And, I'm sure there were a lot of teams that felt they deserved that number 1 overall seed, but UCLA got it. What were some things you considered in giving the Bruins that?
Well, there were 2 key factors between
UCLA and South Carolina. One was the head-to-head matchup, and the other was one of our criteria, which is competitive in losses. And South Carolina suffered a 29-point loss to UConn. So those are some of the those are the two key differences in those resumes.
Yeah, it's exciting for the Bruins. Their first time being a number one overall seed. One of the other questions we had when we glanced at the bracket was Notre Dame. You know, they are an ACC co-champion. They dropped to a 3 seed. How did you break down how Notre Dame ended up?
Interesting. A 29-point loss. They weighed heavy.
Well, being a little bit of a research nerd, I'm going to use a term. It was an interaction effect. It wasn't just what happened with Notre Dame in terms of them losing 3 of 5 down the stretch, but it was also what the teams that came out ahead of them did in their conference tournaments and winning their tournaments. So again, an interaction effect between those two things.
Right. It wasn't just what they did in losing 3 of 5. It's what other teams did to elevate their resume as well, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And one other thing that we looked at, currently spring, we had talked about who could host and who would be hosting comfortably. We thought Ole Miss might have a chance to host. They were just outside of that, hosting 1 through 16.
Well, maybe that'll motivate Notre Dame.
Again, looking at the resumes between them.
Oh, yeah, Notre Dame, Iowa had a bunch of close losses, so I definitely think they were better than their record. I'm just going by what they were ranked in the country. But this committee has more time to analyze it, and they use more factors than the AP poll does.
Losses, that tips to Maryland. So Maryland got the 16 and Ole Miss the 17.
Okay, and then this is total Nerd City TV person question, but you know our fans want to know if the seed holds, the chalk holds, you see 2 matchups in the Final Four that those teams have played 3 times already this season in USC, UCLA, and Texas and South Carolina. Was there any conversation that maybe fans would want to see something different, or how do you guys see those potential Final Four matchups with the top 4 seeds?
I think fans want to see good basketball, and they're going to see that. I think the teams deserve to be seeded and bracketed according to the work they've done all year on the court, and that's what we did. We stuck true to the S-curve, put those teams in the slots that they earned, and that's the bracket. And I think the fans are going to see some really good basketball, and they're going to see some new matchups, because as you mentioned already, several teams that were the regular season champion didn't get the AQ. We've got 6 new teams that have never been in the tournament before, including UC Davis, FDU, and William & Mary.
Great point. And as we look at the bracket, I do see great competitive balance across the bracket. So thank you for your great work. And hello, can we give you a shout out for your poppin' red lip tonight? Great job. Thank you.
Let's call it a party lip. I do want to get your, now that we've had a minute to digest and sort of sit and marinate on this, your biggest takeaways as you look at the bracket. But RL, I do want to start with you because we just heard her talk about it right there. The potential, if everything goes chalk, and what those Final Four matchups could be.
Well, yeah, if everything goes chalk, you have 2 semifinal games where teams are playing each other for the 4th time. And we know when you get to a conference tournament and you're playing each other for a 3rd time, the basketball tends to not be the prettiest because the teams know each other so well. So it'll be really interesting if it does go chalk and they've got these 2 teams playing for the 4th time and these 2 teams playing for the 4th.
Charlie?
And that's where the order of the number 1 seeds is such a big deal. I mean, we kind of knew who they were going to be, but it does matter, the order that they're put in. And those are tough decisions the committee has to marinate on. And this is what they decided. And sticking to the S-curve, I think that is important, but it does create what we might see in the Final Four, which for fans, and I think from us to some degree, may not be as ideal as we like.
Well, when you look at it geographically, you've got the 2 West Coasts, that's what, 2-3 time zones before you would get to Florida versus going out.
So we're going to see USC and UCLA play if USC beats Connecticut for the 4th time. And it looks like South Carolina and Texas are going to play for the 4th time. Have they played 4 times? Have they played 3 times? Let me see the bracket they have. Is that right?
UConn and USC, two of the biggest superstars in our game. That to me, and I know this
probably is very far down on the committee's list of how they're deciding on where to put teams, but I do feel like there was some sort of scenario where we didn't see UConn USC so early in the tournament. We felt the exact same way last year when we knew we could potentially get an Iowa LSU Sweet 16 or Elite 8 matchup that we felt it was too early as well. But again, that's if everything goes chop. Right. Certainly we'll see. Now that we've seen the full bracket, shall we give you some tips on how you should fill yours out? It's presented by Allstate. Since the tournament expanded to 64 teams and 94, top 3 seeds are 359-1 in the round of 64. That lone loss, number 1 seed Stanford, losing to 16 seed Harvard in 1998. Haven't seen it since. 1 seeds have won 11 of the last 12 titles, and all 42 champs have been seeded in the top 3. Just keep that in mind as you get ready. Okay, Harvard. Remember that the brackets are
Top 3 seeds have won all 42 titles. What was the second stat? Number 1 seeds have won 11 of the last 12. Okay. Well, LSU wasn't a number 1 seed, and they won. So they must have been the one that didn't win it. Yeah, Iowa lost a bunch of close games. I think they were better than their AP ranking, which is why they got a 6th seed. But it's still high for what they're ranked because they weren't ranked. But losing a bunch of close games, they take that in consideration because they said they were taking in consideration how much the point spread was in the losses. So keep that in mind when you're trying to keep a lead against a team. See, a blowout's a blowout. I don't know. Well, what do you guys think of the brackets? So did Texas and South Carolina really play 3 times? Yeah, South Carolina won twice, right? And Texas won once. Isn't that what it was?
Use QuickBooks to get your cash flow flowing.
But South Carolina crushed Texas in the last game, so I think they played 3 times.
Manage and grow your business all in one place. Intuit QuickBooks, your way to money.
We're in a city, parking is hard to find. Seems like everyone drives. And those who do should switch to Geico because you could save hundreds of.
Yeah, they lost by 17, Texas. Then they won by 4, and then they lost by 19.
Beef wheat smells nice.
Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Well, we'll see.
Unburned in soccer is just one part of my story.
Gee, why doesn't
Jordan outside of soccer is a little bit different than Jordan in soccer. I have moments where I can be silly. I have moments where I can be serious. I mean, we definitely get a sneak peek into who I am with what I wear. On field, I mean, like street style, baggy stuff. I think there's like a gender in clothes, whatever you feel confident in, go rock it. TJ Maxx. That's what makes you you.
So see you guys tomorrow night at 6 for the Kate and Clark's crossover. Which reminds me, I have to send out the invitations.
Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA championship stage today.
Let's see.
The NCAA winning selection special is presented by Capital One. What's in your box? Welcome back. A reminder as we show you the full bracket that was just revealed. We are headed over to ESPN2 to do a bracketology show. We're really going to get into all of this. We're going to debate it, and we're going to be joined by South Carolina head coach Don Staley.
Oh, I'm glad I'm missing that. I don't want to listen to Don Staley.
Some things out to take care of business, and I'll start right here. UCLA versus the field. The field. Okay. The field. Okay, Carolina, no matter who it is, that it's there's a region you don't want to be in.
I would not want to be in South Carolina region now.
Okay. Toughest first round matchup. Whoever's playing South Carolina. They were not happy when we went to their celebration. This is a team with a chip on their shoulder. Potential tournament
Caitlin Clark.
Lauren Betts in the paint near the rim. Somebody's got to get it to her, though, so you probably might want to go with the bar. That would be Judy Walker. Right? Okay. Okay. Would be the one.
Biggest surprise of the night.
That South Carolina is not the number one overall seed, frankly. I really thought that was going to happen.
And Notre Dame falls with her. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I know the answer to this one. The team with the biggest chip on their shoulder after tonight.
I think we probably answered. Use the word chip already a few times for South Carolina.
It could be Notre Dame, too, though. I mean, this team has a 3 seed.
I think it could be Ole Miss.
I'm gonna have you all yell your answer out at the same time. One team that to you is a lock for the Final Four.
South Carolina.
You see how I'll just lay out? NBA is next. We'll see you on E2 right now with Coach Don Staley. Join us now.
But which year kind of what we do?
Okay, comes off the bench. A matchup.
Whoever's playing South Carolina, they did not look happy when we went to their celebration. This is a team with a chip on its shoulder.
Potential tournament breakout star.
Oh, wow. Okay. But which year kind of what we do?
Okay, comes off the bench. Play well in their conference tournaments. You can do a good one. All right.
All right. Hey, that's the end of my show. See you tomorrow night at 5:55. Thanks for stopping by for the bracketology, and have a nice night.